So I basically just ended up scrapping my whole design for my snow machine. It worked, it was really slow, it was going to be really hard to optimize, just be a lot of materials for something really not that good, so it really wasn't worth it. So instead, I built this whole thing. Right now I'm doing some of the designs for it, but that's not really important. So the way that this works is there's flying machines, snow golems in composters, also inside of honey blocks, upside down half slabs above so they can't jump out. Flying machine will go across, so if that's not snow, basically flying machine will go across, cover everything in snow, then it will get to the other end, and this observer will detect it. That will activate kind of like a spread out binomial counter, or not binomial, whatever, the thing with ones and zeros. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but basically T flip-flop into T flip-flop, because this will actually get triggered twice when it comes in. What that will do is turn on this copper bulb, because T flip-flop gets activated twice, so this redstone torch will come off and then back on, turning on the copper bulb, turning on this line of redstone. That then line goes here along the cyan. I used a diamond block there because why not? And right now, the signal is blocked off. I'm going to show you why later. And basically, it's going to merge with the other side, because the other thing's happening over here. Basically, it looks a little bit different because the observers are one closer to the middle. Yeah, so then basically comes over here. This diamond block is currently blocking the output, but then it will go on the pink redstone, trigger this dispenser, which would have TNT in it. Right now it doesn't. It's gonna go up, back down, trigger the other dispenser, which also would have TNT in it. Both dispensers' outputs, this one over here, and this one over here, they both have comparator going into it, immediately into a redstone torch. This will detect if there's any items in it. And basically, when it's negated with the redstone torch, it actually gets negated a bunch of times. Didn't really need to use that many redstone torches, but I did. So basically, both of these being off right here means that there's nothing in either dispenser. Yes, there's nothing in that dispenser over there, or this dispenser over here. That then goes into a redstone torch, which triggers this piston. So basically, this piston's here. It's blocking the signal because both dispensers are empty. So it's saying, okay, we're not going to try to launch any more TNT. Well, I didn't even tell you it's TNT. This is a TNT machine. It does use TNT. But basically, it says, there's no TNT in either one. We're just going to block all the redstone. This also goes into this trap door, which opens, revealing a button. The way this button works is you press the button, then you'll be able to put TNT in this chest, and the machine will get going again. So that's about it for the main core mechanics. So the button will So the button will trigger. Oops, do not want to change that. Button will trigger this dispenser, which has TNT in it. Don't have to worry about restocking because we'll only use one TNT every time that the machine runs out. So that will launch a TNT down here in the water so it doesn't break anything. That will trigger the calibrated skulk sensor, which has wool around it. So basically, as long as none of the snow golems die, which there isn't really a way for them to die, but as long as none of them die, then yeah, there's no way that this thing can really break. Yeah, so we'll trigger the calibrated skulk sensor. And see it's on page 15, which means it only detects mob deaths and TNT explosions. That will activate this redstone torch into that copper bulb, into that observer, which starts the flying machine again, and it goes back. Yeah, and once it reaches the other end, same thing happens basically, right? Detects what's going on. If there's TNT up there, then TNT will drop. Calibrated skulk sensor will detect that and send it back off. Now, the reason why we have this right here is because if I didn't, we wouldn't be able to get the machine to start again, really, because there's an issue with the dispenser always being powered, which means that items can't go into it, which I wasn't aware of. That might be a new mechanic. I know that worked with hoppers, but I tested it out. It wasn't the hopper that was being powered. It was just the dispenser. So that's why I needed to do all that bit. It was much simpler before that, but yeah, so that's the main gist of it. This glass is to guide it to make sure the TNT doesn't fall onto the side here, because if it does, then it will probably break the hoppers down here. Oh yeah, and didn't show this yet, but here's the little collection system. TNT explodes, snowballs are going to drop in this area. Flying machine goes across. A lot of them will be pushed off to either end. Some of them will initially fall off to the side, and will all go down into these 3 hoppers, filling these 3 double chests. And I've only put a couple stacks of TNT in it total, and as you can see, like, everything's filled up all the way. So it is pretty fast. I've calculated it to be like about like a double chest, or it's multiple double chests of snow blocks per hour. I forgot how much. No, I think it was a bit over 1 double chest per hour, but I don't remember the exact number. This does not need to be there anymore. That was just for testing. Doesn't do anything. The lever's off. So basically, if I were to give myself TNT, not TNT minecarts, then I can press the button, put a stack in here, put a stack in here. Oh yeah, and I should have waited to put that put the stack in. I don't have it completely foolproof, and I really tried to make it as idiot-proof as possible, but it's super difficult to do that, because I'd need another calibrated skulk sensor, I think. But yeah, so here's it in action. TNT blows up. That goes along. And there needs to be at least 3 hoppers, because if there were only 2 hoppers, like, that wouldn't be fast enough to pick up all the snowballs. Right now the hoppers aren't picking up anything because, you know, they're full. But every single block here... So I just froze it, but every single block has purpose. Except for some of the stuff up top. So, I mean, these blocks are over here because I found out, very unfortunately in testing, that if you relog while the snowmen are above, the snowmen and the composters are above air for more than 2 blocks, they will fall through and that will break the entire machine. And the number of I had to rebuild this machine probably dozens of times. I'm not sure if I can see. Yeah, so I placed 264 honey blocks. This machine uses 16. I did use a couple honey blocks beforehand, but yeah, I basically had to rebuild this 20 or so times. And the way that you... It also took me a while to figure out how to put the snowmen in there. So this is at first what I did. At first I just gave them no AI and summoned them with commands. And the flying machine was much easier. So I would just do /summon snow golem tilde 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 open bracket no AI 1. Oh, binary, that's what it's called. It was a binary counter. Yeah, so anyways, I would do that. It's actually a little bit hard to get in sometimes, because I did give myself speed just because it makes doing everything much easier. So I would do that, then oh, whoops, tick unfreeze. Yeah, so that will trigger the blocks, and basically they're stuck. But if that's only because they don't have any AI. So like they will get pushed around, but the only way to do it now is, so I also need a redstone block and a slab. It doesn't have to be a slab. Actually, I think it does. It could also be a chain or an end rod, but slabs are just much easier and higher blast resistance, so if something does go wrong, the machine is less likely to break. So the way that I would set this up, oh yes, and of course I also needed snow and carved pumpkins. So the way I would set this up is go there, do that. Place the 2 snow for the snowmen. Then, not up there. Honey goes down there. Slabs go up there. Then this is kind of tricky, but you have to be pretty quick about it. And you can see they do try to jump out. And if I were to remove this, if I remove these slabs, they would be able to jump out. Yeah, right there. And if I were to so they are able to jump